Just a few years ago, the idea would have sounded ridiculous. Flying cars? That's something out of Star Wars or Blade Runner. But today, we're not looking at animations. We're watching real test flights. Actual machines taking off from parking lots, flying across cities, landing on helipads. And they're not controlled by the military or NASA. These are private companies building the first real versions of flying vehicles aimed at ordinary people, or at least those who can afford them. Air mobility is no longer science fiction. It's becoming an actual industry. In 2023, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration approved the first flying electric vehicle for test flights. The vehicle came from Alef Aeronautics, a California-based company developing a car that can both drive and fly. This machine looks like a sleek electric car, but with vertical takeoff capability. It doesn't need a runway. It lifts off like a drone. And this vertical takeoff, or VTOL, is the key to why flying cars are suddenly being taken seriously. These are not like airplanes. They're called eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. In simple terms, a vehicle that can take off and land vertically, without airports and without gas engines. They're quiet, fully electric, and controlled digitally, and Alef is far from alone. One of the most advanced players is XPENG Aero-HT, a Chinese company whose flying car prototype has already completed public demonstration flights. Their design looks like a futuristic sports car with foldable arms and multiple rotors. It can drive like a regular electric car, then transform into a flying mode with just one button. In car mode, it handles like any other EV, but when the rotors deploy, it becomes a two-seat drone that can take off and land vertically. This isn't just a concept, it's a working prototype that's been shown at tech expos and test sites around the world. Another company making headlines is Jetson, with its Jetson 1 aircraft. It's a lightweight single-seat flying machine that works more like a large personal drone. It's already operational and designed to be flown without a traditional pilot license, using intuitive joystick controls. The Jetson 1 includes several safety systems, including automatic landing and a parachute that activates during emergencies. It's built from carbon fiber and aluminum, designed to be as light and safe as possible. And unlike some experimental models, you can already pre-order it today. Meanwhile, Archer Aviation is preparing something entirely different, a full-scale urban air taxi service. In partnership with United Airlines, Archer is planning commercial eVTOL routes between airports and downtown areas in major U.S. cities. Their aircraft are designed to cut a 60-minute car ride down to just 8 minutes by air. These vehicles fly at low altitudes, much like helicopters, but are quieter, safer, and cheaper to operate. The vision is clear. Instead of being stuck in traffic, you'll lift off, fly over the congestion, and land near your destination in minutes. What all these machines have in common is the combination of electric power, multi-rotor stability, and digital flight control. They're part drone, part airplane, part car. They're powered by batteries, stabilized by multiple independent rotors, and often equipped with semi-autonomous flight software. And that brings up a lot of questions. Who's responsible for the flight? What kind of license will you need? How do you manage hundreds or thousands of these vehicles flying over cities? How do you prevent collisions? Regulation is one of the main reasons we're not flying to work yet. Agencies like the FAA in the US and ESA in Europe are now creating entirely new rules, because the old aviation system assumes you fly from airport to airport with a certified pilot in control. But these new flying vehicles are meant to take off from rooftops, parking lots, or even your backyard and land anywhere. That's never been part of aviation law. Add to that questions about noise, airspace coordination, bad weather, and limited battery life, and it becomes clear why things are moving slowly. Today's prototypes have a flight time between 15 and 60 minutes, depending on weight, wind, and battery capacity. That's not much, but for short city trips it's enough. And once solid-state or graphene batteries become viable, these ranges will multiply. Charging infrastructure will evolve, and what now seems like a limitation will become the norm. But the most important part is this: the shift is already happening. Flying cars are no longer a concept. They're real. They're flying. And some of them are already certified for test flights in the United States. What we sketched as fantasy just 10 years ago is now taking off from real launch pads and research centers. The question is no longer if we'll have flying cars. The question is when and where they'll become part of everyday life. It might not happen next year. It won't be cheap. But the direction is set. And those who follow this industry know air mobility is the next great transportation revolution. For decades, people said cars had nowhere left to go. But what if the next step wasn't forward, but upward? Subscribe us for more videos.